Hi, and welcome back to our exploration into machine learning. Last week we looked at what is called supervised learning, and we had two categories. We had a category for top 40 lyrics and a category for children's lyrics. Initially our machine did not know anything, and so it could give us a 50% confidence because it's got two categories and no knowledge. Once we trained the machine, it could change its behaviour. It had learnt. What we're going to do this week is a different kind of machine learning. We're going to follow something that's called reinforcement learning. Now, this is where we reward a machine for doing well, positive, and we maybe penalise a machine when it makes mistakes, negative. And through this, it can then go away and adapt its behaviour. So we're going to play noughts and crosses. We're going to play against a machine that knows nothing about noughts and crosses first, so it probably just makes random moves, and we're going to show it history of moves and tell it who the winner was so that it can begin to notice good moves, bad moves, and adapt its behaviour. So we're going to do machine learning, and it's called reinforcement learning this week. You need to hop across to Machine Learning for Kids, and there we click on Get Started. We click on Try It Now, and we're going to use one of their templates. So we're going to copy one of their templates, and we're going to use the Noughts and Crosses template. Let's go into the template and we'll see the boxes that we had last week. So our training data, an area where we can get the machine to learn, and an area where we can make things. Let's look at the training data. And the training data is blank at the moment. And basically you can see it's organised into the 9 cells for the noughts and crosses grid. We can't tell it to learn anything yet because we've got no sort of behaviours to reinforce. So we're going to click on Make. And we're going to make in Python, but we're going to use different code from what they've provided because we need code to actually play Noughts and Crosses game. But we do need the API key so it can link back to your machine. So whilst we're here, I'm just going to copy the API key, Control C. And following the link in our worksheet or on the slides, you're going to hop across to a replit where the code actually is. And if you click on the word fork, it will make us a copy, so you have a copy of the code. And what we then need to do is to remove line 13 and replace it with your copied API key. Your API key will be different. And then we can play noughts and crosses. And let's see how strong it is at the moment. And so up pops the noughts and crosses board, and it's made the first move. So I'm going to go into an opposite corner. I'm going to move here. It has blocked me. I'm going to move up to there. It hasn't blocked me this time, so I'm going to make that move, and I've won. Okay, so it didn't really play that strongly. So what we need to do is try and train our machine with the history of that board. So we're going to move down to line 194 in our code, where there is a function learn from this. And so this is a function that's going to pass data back to our machine, and it's going to tell it the history of what happened in that game. So we just need to put an extra line into the end of our code. That needs to be indented the same place as to where that print is. And the line of code is add underscore to underscore train. So add to the training data, board history, square bracket IDX, square bracket, so a history of the moves that have been made, the winner, and then the winner decision for that game. And hopefully I've spelt that all right, so I'm going to click on run. And, oh, it's me to go first this time, so I'm going to click up there. I'm then going to click across in an opposite corner, and I'm going to make a winning line down the centre. And right at the bottom in the console, you can see add in the move to the training data. So let's go and have a look. Let's go back to Machine Learning for Kids, go back to the project, click on Train. And yes, there is now some training data for it to try and learn from. Okay, so it's got copies of the move, and you can see that maybe it's identified a winning line for us. What we now need to do though is actually get the model to train. So every time we play a game, we want it to retrain the model so it learns. And so again, back into our code, at the bottom of that procedure again, we need to insert a new line, but this line is not inside the for loop. It needs to execute once the for loop is finished. So we need to come back a bit, so we actually line up with the F for, and we're going to tell it to train new model. In other words, we want it to go away. So once a game is finished and we've passed it the data, we're going to ask it to train a new model. Okay, so having added that train new model line, I'm going to play a game and see if we can win and see if it will train itself. So here comes the game. Looks like it's me to go first, so I'm going to go top left. It's gone bottom right, so I'm going to go top right. And I'm going to win with the top line. And you can see at the bottom it's saying training new machine. Then you can see the training is complete. So fingers crossed, let's stop and let's play again. And hopefully as you do this, it should get stronger and stronger as it learns. So it's gone first, top left. So I'm going to go bottom right, take that corner. I'm going to block its line. I'm going to block its line. And this looks like it's going to be a draw. Okay, and it's a draw, so nothing happens with a draw because the machine is not trained, is not coded to accept that. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to run again. Now a draw is probably the best outcome for both me and the machine. Let's see if we can beat it again though. So again, it's gone top left, so I'm going to go bottom right. I'm going to block its line. I'm going to block its line again. Block its line, and it's got a draw. Maybe it's learnt already. Got a feeling that because it went top left twice, it's just learnt a behaviour. Let's see if we can go first. It's gone top left again. Let's go somewhere different, try and fool it. Let's go down there. Let's block its line. And yes, let's win. So it learnt a behaviour. So me going somewhere different forced it hopefully to learn. It says training complete. Let's try again. Is it me first? No, it's first, so it learnt. So we've been, let's go top right for a change and see if we can adapt its behaviour. So let's go middle again. Oh, it's learnt that. I'm going to, see, it didn't quite pick up the idea that it could win. So I'm going to win again. So it's still not win and training complete. So what we'd like you to do is go away and spend some time training it. And basically try and do different moves. So, it might begin to get quite strong, moving in certain directions. So change your tactics slightly, go to a different move, and then we'd like you to do this a few times and then just reflect on what's happened. That's the end of the work for this week. So we've done supervised learning last week, and we're doing reinforced learning this week.